Listen, there are some major credit report changes happening in 2025 that has the potential to affect everyone. That being said, stick around because it's something I want you to be aware of that's happening on April 1st that can cause a domino effect and really could shake things up as it relates to credit. Let's start with what really caused the changes that many people were talking about, and that's the CFPB finalizing rule to remove medical bills from credit reports. This was supposed to take effect around March 17th, really 60 days after it posted. And I'll show you what I mean. But the final rule was saying to remove billions of dollars of medical bills from credit reports and end coercive debt collection practices that weaponize credit reporting system. Now, this is something that I feel is a good thing for people because many times, if you think about it, medical bills are not a true representation of a person's credit worthiness. There were some things that may have happened with them on the medical level that led to some situations that led to that item being posted on their credit report, not them applying for a loan and agreeing to pay certain things on certain terms. So it's not a true connection to a person's credit worthiness, which is why I feel that rolling off medical debt can be a huge benefit to those who benefit from this taking place. Right here it says the CFPB finalized the rule that will remove an estimated 49 billion in medical bills from credit reports of about 15 million Americans. Now, the CFPB has been targeted and hit to where they're not as effective as they once were for different reasons. However, this rule was put into place before all of the things started to hit the fan as it relates to what the CFPB had going on. They were applying pressure to several different areas, and as a result, many people were receiving compensation, different refunds, and money associated with things that the CFPB was doing. This is one of the things that could have a trickle effect. Now, it's showing as if, or it will show up as if this happened during Trump's presidency, as if he was the one that started it. But this actually started way before he actually got into office. So you really want to keep that in mind because sometimes it may look as though it was the person that caused it that's in office, but in actuality, where did it stem from? Where did it really get started at? And this was not necessarily a political play. This was a CFPB play that was a root cause of them wanting to hold certain entities accountable while also helping different consumers. Now, this is what I meant when I said the rule would be effective on March 17th. Well, it said the rule would be effective 60 days after publication in the Federal Register. So this article was published on January the 7th. So let's just say that it was published in the public register on January 17th. Well, 60 days out of that, we'll put it at March 17th. Now, that's for the medical credit reports and how it can have a positive effect for those who may have medical bills. But this is what a lot of people may not be telling you that could also affect your credit report starting as soon as April the 1st. So what do I mean? Well, if you didn't know, then the buy now, pay here platforms or buy now, pay later platforms are starting to catch a lot of wind. A lot of people are using them because they make it very accessible and easy to use, whether you're checking out at Walmart, whether you're checking out online, whether you're checking out via PayPal. You see buy now, pay later options. Affirm is one of the main ones that many people know about. So listen, Affirm is set to expand credit reporting to all payment plans. Why is this important? Well, the buy now, pay later is one of those things that it has to get you to apply and get approved for something. And now you're able to just pay a portion of what the actual cost is. And as long as you pay it on the terms agreed, then sometimes you can buy it the same as cash. But if you don't, then this can negatively impact your score. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. When you have these small little loans on your report, they're not building any true longevity as it relates to your credit report. Prime example, if you have a car note, then there's a chance that you may have that car note for several years. If you have a mortgage, you may have that for several years. If you have a credit card, you may have that for several years. But a lot of little buy now, pay later loans showing up on your credit report may just look like short-term accounts being opened and closed, opened and closed, opened and closed. Does that truly have longevity on your credit profile? Does that truly show a representation of your credibility? Can it help you? Partially, but can it hurt you as well due to the opening and closings of accounts? that's something to think about. Now, it could possibly show, okay, this person has a track record of paying things off, and now that stacks up depending on how they go about reporting it. So let's dive in. They said the firm said on March 19th that it plans to begin furnishing information about all of its payment plans to Experian April 1st. This move will expand a firm's credit reporting to Experian to include its pay over time products, in addition to the monthly installments of longer term loans that it already reports to the credit reporting agency, according to a Wednesday press release. So they already have monthly installment, longer term loans, but they're about to report everything. So the payment plan types that are not currently shared with Experian, but will be when originated on or after April 1st, include biweekly payment plans, pay in 30, which is a single installment, pay in 2, and pay in 6, according to the firm's help center. So having all loans reflected in a consumer's financial profile will help protect and empower borrowers, so they say. But understand how the credit system works. It may have a short-term benefit. It may empower the borrowers on a short-term basis, but how will it affect them long-term with the opening and closing of several accounts? That's something to make note of. So pay attention to that if this is something that you have being reported on your profile, so you can determine whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm looking at it being a short-term good thing, but a potential detriment depending on how it plays out long term. So the buy now, pay later industry must evolve from simply providing flexible payment options to helping consumers build their credit histories and better manage their finances. And we are pleased to be taking this step with Experian. So they're looking at it like they're going to help people build good long-term history. But we'll have to see how that truly plays out. And you have to be aware of it because there's so many people adopting it, so many people using it. So this has the ability to affect you as well as the credit system as a whole. Because if this does have a positive impact to where short-term loans have the ability to benefit your score, then that changes things, because now people will chase those short-term loans because they're incentivized to do it because it helps their score, and they will do it over and over and over again. Now, those who have the ability to properly manage that type of debt long-term, they'll be good. But it's going to be a group of people who try their method just for the sake of boosting their score, and it's going to be detrimental to them because they're not going to have the right habits, for lack of better words, in order to maintain that and keep their score up. So that's just something to pay attention to. The expanded credit reporting will help consumers build their credit histories and will enable both consumers and lenders to make more informed decisions, according to the release. So that's what they're saying. I beg to differ, but let's dive in a little bit deeper before we wrap this up. Analytics from FICO said in February that it is planning to add buy now, pay later data to its credit score analysis. This is what I mean. This changes everything. This affects everyone, because if they add this to their analytics on FICO, that changes things, because as it relates to the current analytics, it's based on the 5 factors: payment history, credit utilization, credit history, new credit, and basically credit mixture. Now, this has the ability to fit into all of those things, but how would they line this up? It says that FICO said it was doing so after conducting a joint study with the firm and finding that the inclusion of buy now, pay later data could raise FICO scores for some consumers and improve model risk performance for lenders. You let me know what you think. I think it has the potential to be short-term beneficial, but long-term detrimental. But if they do the right things with the analytics, could it be something that is beneficial long-term? And would that change the habits that us as consumers have to take in order to make sure that we have a current, modern-day good credit score? You let me know what you think in the comments, but this is something you need to be on the lookout, because a lot of changes are happening in 2025 as it relates to your credit report. And it all starts with you knowing that it's happening, so you can take action and make sure that you're on the right side of whatever changes take place. Mr. Smith, signing out. Salute.